Alright, so it's been way too long since I've done a Pocher video. So, just a quick heads up, I've been waiting for leather. The owner of this car just let me know he ordered some leather online, so hopefully that'll be here in a few days. And once that's in, I can do some work on the doors and try to get the body done. So while I'm waiting for that, I thought I would work on the exhaust pipes. So the kit pipes are these guys right here. And they're okay-ish, but I think I mentioned in a previous video that a more realistic, better looking option would be using this from a lighter. So I'll go through the process on how I do those, how I make those. The first step for doing this is to install the side pipe here. Now the screw they call for here is a little bit too short, so put a little bit of a longer screw in there. Right in here where that pipe came through, it was really close to that edge. It was actually touching it. And I've got this pipe shoved back as far as I can get it. And the body part is shoved forward is pretty much as far as it'll go. And so I just kind of carved out, made myself some clearance here. Another issue that you'll probably have is right up in here, the connection for the flexible pipe here does not line up with the opening here. So I kind of carved out the opening a little bit. That'll get cleaned up better before I actually paint it. This one kind of the same way, but it's far enough back that you have more room to kind of make that shot. So again, with this installed first, then put the fenders on and made sure the opening for the fenders fit around here. Let me get those fenders on, we'll show you what that opening looks like. Alright, so as you can see where that pipe comes up, it's not centered in that hole. It's actually better than it was. Now when I first put this on, the edge right here was actually about here, and it was touching hard on the side of that pipe coming up. So I've been sanding and carving that back a bit. I could still go a little bit more. I could take that back a little bit more, round it out a little bit more to make some more clearance. But for now, it's good enough. The pipe will fit over here with the way I have it now, but I'll probably open that up a little bit more. Backside, there's plenty of room there. So we can take the fender off now that we know that that fits good enough. And then the next step is to cut a piece out of this. So again, if you look at photos of the real car, this is much more realistic here. So let me shove all of this out of the way and let's focus on taking that apart. All right, so to take this thing apart, this one has one screw right here, and I think that's the only screw. I didn't see any others. So let's take that one out, see what happens. Alright, still in there, but it's loose. And using the favorite tool to start popping it apart. Yeah, there's a sticker here. We'll just kind of slice through that sticker. There we go. And this piece, we don't need that. This piece right here should just come off. Maybe. There it goes. Just pop that off. And then this should there we go. Just like that. So we don't need any of this stuff. So we'll just cut all of that. And that's it. That should just pull off. So that's it. Now all we have to do is cut it to the right length. The rest of this stuff, I don't know, save it or not. Just be aware that this, if there's any liquid in it, well, yeah, I don't think I need to tell you to be careful with that. So I'm just going to put this away somewhere. I might need that at some point. Hard to say. Never know when you'll need a little vial of gas. Got the little snappy thing. That made a Decent little arc there. That might come in handy someday, so we'll put that somewhere safe. And the rest of this goes in the trash. So I'm going to take my Dremel tool with the cutoff wheel, and we'll get rid of one end of that, and then we'll measure it for the right length and see if we can get it installed in the car. Alright, so now that you got one end cut off, and again it was a Dremel tool with a cutoff wheel, and I also touched the end to a belt sander, and then I cleaned out the burr on the inside, again with a Dremel and a little like a diamond burr tip thing that would fit in there, just to clean off the edge. So then what you would want to do is take off the, get that to focus better, take off the pipe and make those ends fit, because as is, they're not going to fit. And it's a lot easier to sand those ends down off of the car. So that's almost there. So we just want to keep going. Just keep sanding those ends. Actually, it should fit. Just keep sanding those ends until those fit. And got the one right over here. That one's almost pretty good there. So once you get those to fit, you also need to get, see if I can position it better. You also need to get these ends up here, need to get those to fit. And with this one, remember, that point is too far back for this. So I did take out a little material here on that side. But when I cut that down to make it fit the flexible tube, I removed more from this edge. I removed more from the back edge to help kind of shift the thing forward. And on this tube, I'll have to actually grind the edge down kind of at an angle when I get that to fit in here. This one over here is not too bad. It's kind of at a better shot. So the next step is going to be to fit this, and I kind of can't do it one-handed very easily, but fit that on here and kind of get a mark of how long it should be. So I'm going to fit one end in, lay it in, and then mark that end, and then I'll cut it to length. So I'm going to get that cut to length, and I'll get that one, and then we'll show you what it looks like when it's all together. So there they are. The lighting is not very good, and they're kind of just, you know, they're not permanently installed yet. But let's take a look at what they look like with the fenders and hoods on. So again, the lighting's not the best, but I do need to get a little bit more clearance here, and I'll need a little bit more clearance right in here. But other than that, you know, I think that looks all right. It's definitely better than the ones that they included. And they're pretty much the same outer diameter. It doesn't really look like it here. But outer diameter is the same, but that's just way too coarse for scale. Plus it doesn't bend as much. I mean, the bend radius is a whole lot less than on those. So I'll have to take them back out, do some final tweaking, final polishing, and I think, I gotta look at some reference photos, but I think that should come out a little bit more, kind of come out and back in. I think I got it pressed too far in there, which, if that's the case, I might have to remake that one, because it's not long enough to have it come out and then back in, which would be okay, because I noticed that this one is a little bit corroded in between the lines here. I think this one had been sitting around outside a little bit. So anyways, I might redo that one, but it's just a little bit extra work to do those instead of these, and I think they look a whole lot better. So anyways, hopefully that was helpful to somebody, and as always, thanks for watching.